Owens' family sued the Stanford Board of Education in federal court. Hey, federal court. Alleging that the city did not protect her rights. Wow, didn't protect her rights. That kind of sounds opposite of what she's stands for today, but okay, I got you. So one thing that I learned at a young age, especially in high school, is, you know, you had your different fractions, okay? You had your jocks, you had your nerds, you had, you know, your ladies men, and you had your, you know, your actual educated kids, you know, the kids with the pencils in the ears, you know, 2 backpacks full of books for whatever reason. One thing that I figured out that helped me throughout my adult life is you have to live your truth. Okay, if you're a nerd, you got to be the best nerd that you can be and own up to it. You know what I'm saying? If you're a ladies man, but you suck in school, hey, don't try to pretend. You're not fooling nobody. One thing about Candace Owens in this recent interview that she was with Valuetainment is she tries to, and I noticed this a lot in a lot of interviews that she do, she tries to blot out a certain part of her history. You know what I'm saying? Like this one narrow moment where it would, in my opinion, undercut her entire career that she has today. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, she could probably do some, you know, some verbal acrobatic, you know, word salad to where it's like she tries to justify it, but like, you know, it's like it happened, but like it didn't really, because, you know, the stars aligned and the moon was, you know, at its peak. Some bull I'm pretty sure she could come up with. You know, that's what she gets paid to do, is just to talk crap. But throughout this entire interview, and you know, it's about 8 minutes, but we're gonna watch like, you know, 2-3 minutes, because essentially they're just glossing over her entire, you know, high school, college space of her life. And it's just a little weird, and we're gonna kind of get into it. So let's go ahead, watch this interview, and let's have that conversation. I know the importance of having reliable sources and having resources outside of your echo chamber. I bring to you Ground News. Ground News is a unique product in the market. No other news platform offers the diversity of sources and levels of analysis that they provide. Ground News is a website and app that gathers news from 50,000 sources around the world and puts related articles in one place so you can easily compare coverage. Ground News lets you see the story behind the story using data-driven analysis that looks at things like the political bias, reliability, and ownership of news outlets. One tool that I find extremely helpful is avoiding echo chambers. Ground News gives you the tools to view multiple viewpoints, avoiding the dangers of confirmation bias, and a healthy skepticism and critical thinking skills. And one important key that separates Ground News from the rest is its foundation, a small team of independent media outsiders supported by the subscribers and individual investors who are concerned about the future of news. And it's not a large company founded by big tech or institutional investors. So if you guys are ready to upgrade the way that you see news and want to support the channel at the same time, go ahead and click the special link down below. Now let's get back to the video.
Wondering what the racist side was saying, and I just got curious.
So we were just talking about high school. You left high school, you graduated high school, and you went Rhode Island, not exactly a bastion of conservatism.
No, it's not.
And then from there, you went to work for Vogue magazine, which was even further left than the University of Rhode Island. So where were you, like, on political spectrum and just thinking? Maybe you didn't think if it was political, but where was your thought,
Liberal.
like, when you left high school, then to Rhode Island, and where did you come to where you are today?
Well, I was liberal, but I wasn't crazy liberal. Like, you're never going to find any old pics of, like, I had Republican friends that, it was just a different time. I think we were allowed to kind of be like, oh, like, I'm left leaning and right leaning, and you could be friends. That was
okay back then.
That was okay back then. That was totally fine. Nobody actually really cared. It was college. And I would say I was liberal in the sense that if you had just asked me, generally speaking, about things like, is feminism good? Yes. Yeah. Just everything, just the checklist of, I've had a public school education, and I had a public school education. So I would have said yes to this, yes to that, gay rights, all of these things, but not forcefully. Like, there's no old images of Candace like wearing a pussy hat or marching. It just doesn't exist. I just didn't care.
Very disappointing.
More of an answer than I was.
What about Obama? Did you vote for Obama? This is what, straight up.
No. So it's so funny because everyone says that there, because I just didn't care. I mean, I shouldn't say that I didn't care. I was so happy when Obama won.
Yeah.
Because he was black? Because he was black.
Or because he's gay?
I mean, very simple. Both reasons. Because he's black and because he's very much flaming. And I think
you're saying Obama
wonderful.
wears a pussy hat like to go to sleep every night?
Sure.
I think it's wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah. And for those reasons, I remember sitting in my room on my college campus and like crying the night Obama won. Like, oh yeah, this means America's moving forward.
Crying
I didn't vote for him.
Tears of joy.
Tears of joy. And you could not feel the Obama effect in 08. It was kinetic.
Yes, we can.
Of
course. So 15 years ago, how old were you at the time? 15 years ago, you were...
how old was I when Obama?
You were in college, probably,
I was in college. I remember being I think it was my sophomore year.
20 years old, give or take.
Sophomore
So,
year,
so 2008, he's becoming president. Cannot believe this is taking place. And then the evolution into really get into politics doesn't happen until 2016 for you.
Yeah.
And then boom.
Yeah, I went and worked in New York.
All right, so let's go ahead. Flip this over here because like I said, this section that they posted, I didn't clip. It's 9 minutes long, and I listened to it twice. Okay, because you would think they would dig a little deeper into that situation because it's public information, and you would think that would kind of like she kind of mentioned, like she was just like liberal in a lot of basic surface level type of beliefs. Feminism, check. Gay rights, check. You know what I'm saying? Like, what about racism? Do you think racism existed? Would she just say, check? You know what I'm saying? But we all know that she believes racism exists, okay? As you can see, the iPad is pulling up right here. Why can't Candace Owens own up to this? She experienced racism to a pretty, high degree. It wasn't just like, oh, they're calling me ugly, so it might be kind of mixed in with being racist, Like, no. It was to a high degree. She sued, her and her family sued, and they won, and they got a settlement. That's not important. You know what I'm saying? And I feel no matter how much you would try to twist it, if you're someone who says racism ended essentially when, Candace believes, probably believes racism ended when, Martin Luther King and the Civil Rights Act was in place. Racism ended. Hooray. There's no more racism. But it says Owens worked, let's see, where is this at? Right here. Here it is. 2007. While a 17-year-old senior in high school, Owens received 3 racist death threats, voicemail messages, totaling 2 minutes from a group of white male classmates. Wow, that seems a little kind of like monumental, I never got death threats like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Joshua Starr, the city superintendent of schools, listened to the voicemail messages and said that they were horrendous. I mean, he said it was horrendous. Not like, kids being kids. They're just bullies. Or, like maybe it was taken out of context or like borderline racist, but like maybe you can kind of see it from a different angle, perspective, and maybe see something different. He said it was horrendous. I'm pretty sure it wasn't just, hey, you got nappy hair. Hey, you're blackity black. You know what I'm saying? Like, Owens' family sued the Stanford Board of Education in federal court. Hey, federal court. Alleging that the city did not protect her rights. Wow. Didn't protect her rights. That kind of sounds opposite of what she's stands for today, but okay, I got you. Resulting in a $37,500 settlement in January 2008. It just seems to me that people will grift, people will use whatever they can to opportune. I don't even know that's the word, to opportune on the moment. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure you guys probably seen the Jubilee where it was black conservatives versus white liberals. And Destiny, the streamer, he was on there. And the black girl, black conservative girl, she said it best. She said, and I'm paraphrasing, she essentially said, me being black and me being a conservative gets me more attention than a white conservative ever will. I wonder why. I mean, just spend 2 minutes on trying to figure out why she would say that. And then look at Candace and be like, maybe, just maybe she is playing you too. Because someone who went through this entire trouble, you don't just go through a federal settlement just within like 2 days, 3 days. Like, no, this is a process, okay? And then fast forward, 10, 15 years and be like, racism doesn't exist. Systematic racism. What are you talking about? It doesn't exist. And she says that. That is her slogan, for God's sake. Like, this is the only thing holding her career together, is her saying racism doesn't exist. Because if she believed that, then what good is she to the Republican Party? So once again, grifters will be grifters. Opportunists will be opportunists. But you can avoid that if you would just live your truths. That's simple. And sometimes living your truth, that may not give you the bag. You may not, you can't use that to manipulate people and to scam them of supporting you. I mean, you kind of got to weigh, what's more important, your values or the bag, your self-esteem or the money, who you are as a person or the cold hard cash. Which one's more important to you? And obviously, I don't know her personally, but I'm pretty sure I can bet my last dollar, my last buck, that she chose the money. But once again, if you think I'm wrong, if you think, her experience with this racist classmates that sent her horrendous voicemails, and then she went ahead and sued the school, the Board of Education, matter of fact. If you think that's not a big deal, and you can still believe racism doesn't exist, but yet you experience some sort of racism, I guess. Like, if you think that's possible, let me know down in the comments. And like always, let's have that conversation.